Cash for first home buyers, it can be a myriad, very confusing and almost a little bit of a trap. You've got to be careful. You've got to know the first home buyer grants back to front. So we're going to explain them to you this morning. Stay tuned.
Morning.
How are ya?
Good. How are you?
Good. Cold.
Freezing. It was worse today than yesterday. Yesterday, I could see my breath when I walked outside.
You said it was 6 degrees yesterday morning when you
Where
got
I
up.
was, yeah. Yeah. I came outside because I checked because I was getting into the car like this. So bad.
I'm pulling this out. What is this? There you go. Part of the studio. Now, first home buyers.
Yeah. I thought it could be a good topic just because I think last week we were talking about how, from my experience, the only info I knew is that there's potential to maybe get 10 grand towards buying your first home, but all the ins and outs are so confusing and the information's hard to find. So it would be good to condense it all and have all the facts ready.
Jess, you're a bit of a super nerd,
A little bit, yeah.
highly intelligent. You struggled finding all the information.
Yeah. And I love like researching and looking up things. I'm generally pretty good at it, and the information was hard to find.
It doesn't seem like it all sits in one place. It's a little bit over there, a little bit up there, a little bit down there. It sits everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And finding the information that's reputable. Plus, then the next step after that is finding how you apply and how you actually get whatever assistance you can. But first step, just finding the information is hard enough.
Now, this is going to be embarrassing. I would say that if you had a real estate agency full of realtors, I reckon half of them in the agency will not even know, or maybe even 2/3 would not even know the back to front of first home buyer grants. And that's leaving money on the table. These people are advocates of real estate in the industry. They can't even advocate because it's so hard to try to find this information.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. And it's because it's hard to find. If it's not accessible, then people don't know what's out there.
So let's educate everyone. And guys, it's a live show. It's about first home buyer grants. Ask any questions. There is no such thing as a silly question. Throw the questions out at us. Also going to talk a little bit about what ScoMo is doing with first home buyer stuff as well. Special good morning to everyone this morning. Ben, good morning. Sean, good morning. Paul, good morning. Jonathan, good morning. Luke, good morning. Michelle, good morning. You guys are all legends. So if you've got any questions, guys, fire away. Ben's found a cracking tax break in relocating for work. You can claim stamp duty, agent fees, etc. if moving for work. That would be good even to run a show on that. Let's have a talk with you off air, Ben. That's sick. And another Ben Brasic. How are you, legend? Oh, he's a good man. Okay, now let's talk about this. Let's go, Jess. You got all the information. Fire away.
Excuse if I'm looking down. I've got some notes as well, just so that I don't say the wrong thing and I make sure everything's correct. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was the first home buyer super. It's called the First Home Buyer Super Saving Scheme. So at the moment, this is up to $15,000 in one lump sum that you can take out of your super to go towards purchase your house deposit. So you can do that twice. So that's 30 grand in total. The reason people would do this is for tax savings because you won't have to pay tax on it. So if tax sits about 30% and you take out the full 30 grand, you would save about $9,000.
Speak to your accountant. That sounds right to me.
Yeah.
And so ScoMo's at the moment out there spruiking that you're going to be able to use your super. You already can use your super. He's making it a couple of degrees easier, but it's got to be one of the most utilized ways to get a deposit together. I would dare to say in 2 years that it's been out, I haven't met one person that's using their super to purchase, and it's been out for 2 years.
I didn't even know initially that you could do it. So it's not talked about. People don't know it's there, and they don't know it's an option. But ScoMo, he was suggesting making it either 40% or 50K that you can take out. So at the moment it's 30K. So it'd be increasing by almost double.
Okay, nuts.
Yeah.
Necessary. I think it's bloody clever and bloody brilliant if it comes to fruition.
Yeah, for sure.
Jonathan, I'll say there's popular commentary that first home buyer simply raise prices for properties. Yeah, I think that would be true. That would be true. When a first home buyer buys, they push the next person to the next price range, and they push the next person next price range. Look, I think for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. You've nailed it, Jonathan. That's probably one of the equal and opposite reactions. But I do have to say that's the byproduct of getting people into their own homes early to invest in their future. It's technically investing into their retirement as well, because they're going to have money to spend in their retirement. Then that's the way it is. So it's probably a necessity. Ben, I find it unfair the super opportunity is available for first home buyers. Why can't everyone access this, but you can only use it once? Pretty good idea. I reckon that's. I like it. I like it because, I think even there's a particular age where you just bloody need it. And I think probably under 40, it's too small of an amount to do anything with. And then over 40, it's chunky enough that you can do something with it. So it's clever that you can use it through all ages. So I think the average first home buyer is around 30 years of age in New South Wales. So I know we've said cash for kids this morning and having a bit of a stoke about getting young people cash for buying property, but it's I think, Ben, you may even find that the vast majority of these first home buyers are going to be a little bit older anyway.
For sure.
Okay, what else you got for us?
So the next one is the First Home Buyer Assistance Scheme, which is the one that gives you assistance for stamp duty, which means so there's different brackets. Under a certain bracket, you don't pay any stamp duty, and then over a certain bracket, you pay a discounted amount. So if you're purchasing a property or land, purchasing a property under 650K, you pay no stamp duty. If you're purchasing land under 350K, you pay zero. The next bracket is from 650 to 800, and that's where it's discounted. And same with the vacant land up to 450, it's discounted. So another opportunity. It'd be a little bit more difficult on the Northern Beach. It's not impossible, but still achievable to be able to claim that discounted stamp duty amount.
So this incentive offends people as much as it excites people. I'm always having this conversation that people are going like, seriously, what the hell am I going to buy for under 650,000 in DY in any of the surrounding suburbs? I've lived here all my life. I don't want to buy out of the area. I should be able to. I deserve to work hard, save a stamp duty, and save money and buy something area, but I can't afford what I want to live in.
It's one of those things, though, that no matter where you buy, your property is still going to increase in value over time. If you can stretch it out and you can purchase elsewhere maybe, and then continue living where you are by living with family, renting, whatever you can do, and then keep that as an investment, you can still claim the stamp duty relief and still have an investment, but maybe leave it as an investment and not live in there and then reap the rewards later.
Clever.
But you do have to live in the property. for
Well,
however long.
and I think I think it all starts with the name of a first home buyer grant. I think that's misleading to first home buyers, where it leads them down one garden path, whereas you don't necessarily have to go down that garden path.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying that is exactly what you just said. You don't think you think I have to live there my whole life, maybe forever or 5 years or 10 years, whatever that may be, but you don't. So I think you have to be in there within the first 3 to 6 months of the life of the property. If you can make that sacrifice, if it's out of the area,
Yeah.
if it's only a studio that you get into, then you get out and then you rent what the hell you want. But the big news is you paid no stamp duty on your purchase.
One of my friends has just done this in a property in Wollongong, and for her, it was great. She just got to study, and she lived in Wollongong. She had to do the commute when she had to do the commute, but now she's got this asset which is ready to go, and she's lived there long enough to qualify. But she just had to, travel for a little bit of time.
So, okay, so on that one, rolling out of that one, guys and girls, remember, it's a first home buyer incentive. It doesn't have to you don't have to live in the property forever. You can buy an investment property with your first home buyer grant, but you just must live in it the first 3 to 6 months, showing a clear intention to live in the property. So I think there's a bit of magic there, that if little Johnny wants to get into DY, he can buy a one better, he can get into DY, he can live in there a short time, and then he can get out of there and go and rent what he wants, 2 better, what he wants, 3 better, share house with friends, back at home with mum. But people tell me they want their child to get into an $800,000 2 better, and I'm saying to them, why are you leaving stamp duty on the table? It is $30,000 you are leaving on the table. If you do not take it, you will not get it in your life. Take it and buy it one better. It's 5% of the purchase price.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, frozen a little bit. Mark, can you hear me?
Frozen moment. Yep.
Okay, so the next one is the first home buyers grant, which I'm sure everyone's heard of. This is the $10,000 you can have to pay towards your deposit. Again, you have to live in the property, and there are a few things that qualify you. But again, it's money on the table that's there for you to claim. It's a bit of paperwork, but you can get money from the government to help you. It's there.
It's there. Now, that $10,000, my understanding, it's got to be brand new.
So I've got it has to be new or substantially renovated. New or substantially renovated. So not necessarily a brand new home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Yes.
cool. That's cool. What else we got?
So the last one is that there's the home loan deposit scheme. This is a new one where the government has said that as a first home buyer, you have the capacity just to pay a 5% deposit. And then with this as well, you don't have to pay lender's mortgage insurance. And the government will go as your guarantor instead of having to pay for the insurance.
It's my favourite. This has got lots of hooks and turns in it, this one. It's hard for people to understand. Best way I can put it is there's a hidden penalty that you must pay if you don't have a 20% deposit. Yes, the banks will give you a loan if you've got a 5, 10 or 15% deposit, but they will charge you LMI as a penalty. It's called lender's mortgage insurance, and it can be a fortune, and they will roll it into your loan for you.
Yeah.
This gets away from LMI completely. This is Jess, would you know what LMI would cost on a typical property?
I couldn't find couldn't find the info. It was, again, very tricky.
So to give you an idea, guys, I would estimate that an average Aussie with a little deposit, it would be spending between 10 and 20 grand on LMI. So much so, not only would they be paying LMI money for jam, nothing, but it would be the difference between not even being able to get the loan. So our friends in government are honouring up to 20% without LMI if you've got the capacity to heavy lifting, get the loan. This is huge. To give you an idea, a property is 600,000. That means you only have to come up with 5%. That means you only have to come up with 30 grand. So little Johnny can buy a unit with $30,000. And again, don't forget on the other one, doesn't have to pay stamp duty. Don't forget on the other one, can use his super as a mechanism for a deposit. A few tips and tricks to that. But the government's just is really trying hard here.
Yeah, and even with that 30 grand, you may get another, if it's a newly renovated apartment, you might get $10,000. You only actually need the $20,000 to buy the apartment.
Yep.
Which for a lot of people that are 19, 20, that's their trip to Europe that they go on when they leave school.
Now, I do have to talk about trips to Europe. You can do both.
Yeah.
You can do the myth where people say, impossible, I'm going to have to choose between the fantastic holiday or the property. You do not. All you have to do is get your priorities right. Get the deposit together, get the property, go for a trip, enjoy, rent the property out.
And just have foresight in, like, it might take, if you choose to do that trip straight away, I did that, it will take a little bit longer to save the money for the deposit, but that's fine. As long as you have the foresight and you're not just blowing it every single day. A little money away a day makes a huge difference.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the show was a big show. Jonathan, how do those live-in rules apply on empty blocks? They don't, and the government considers that, accepts that, approves that. If first-home buyers are buying blocks of land or house and land packages, you're sort of okay as well. Everyone, thank you so much for your support today. Jess, what do you got to say before we go?
Have a good day and don't stay warm. Redheads feel the cold more. Today is going to be a rough day for me.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Well, I like it though. I'm a bit of a winter person. Hey, Ricardo's got a big whopper comment for us. Like, we can't leave without reading it out. He spent the time to write it in there. Can you read it for us, Jess?
Yeah, there are a few variables here to consider regarding LMI. Obviously, size of deposit and the lender you go with, as it varies, as some lenders use Genworth and others use QBE. LMI isn't an upfront cost. It's added to a loan amount, so higher repayments slightly over the life of the loan, but it can be very good product if you aren't eligible for the schemes.
That man knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop moment on that one, mate. Thank you very, very much for that, Ricardo. That's good, great to clear that up. And Paul, have a great day. Everyone, enjoy. Jed, thank you for doing the show with us.
Thanks. See you later.
Have a good one. Enjoy the beautiful weather. See ya.